looked it up. It looks like I haven't run a 1500 in about 6, or sorry, an 800 in about 6 years. And it was at a dual meet in college. So that PR is probably a little outdated, but yeah, we're coming through quick. I'm a 5K, 10K boy, so going to get the legs moving a little bit and see if I can, wind it up with these guys.
How has your winter been so far? Paris must have been absolute career high for you, then a break, and then has everything been smooth since then?
Yeah, Paris, that was a dream come true in a lot of ways, and the dream came true twice. And afterwards, I was completely fried. I was just mentally, emotionally just cooked. There's so much build into an Olympic year that afterwards, whether it goes well or it goes poorly, you're so tired. So I took a long break, and this fall and winter have been fantastic. My training's been really, really strong, and I like where I'm at. And tomorrow will be a really good test of where the legs are. And this isn't my marquee event by any means, but I want to compete and I want to try to win. So that's why everybody shows up to a race, and I'm sure these guys are looking for the same thing.
And what will constitute success for you tomorrow over 1,500 meters? Personal best?
Personal best would be great. Competing for the win is what I'm really looking for. This race is going to go fast enough that if I'm competing for the win, if I'm in that conversation towards the end, it'll be a PB.
And do you plan to run World Indoors in China?
Right now, I don't plan on it. Ultimately, I'm committed to the Grand Slam Track League, and that backs up really closely to it. And structuring out my season, it's really challenging to be at a really high level all year, especially with the late World Championship this year on the track. So in order to do the Grand Slams properly, in order to be at my best at USAs and at my best at the World Championships in Tokyo, I need a little downtime. And unfortunately, that kind of falls in that downtime.
Is this your first race in the USA since Paris?
In the USA, yes.
So you should get a good reception.
I hope so.
We'll see what we can do. Yeah. Let's turn to the chap alongside you who has never been seen to run a 5,000 or 10,000. I want to read you the competitive record of somebody that's been coming to this event since 2017. Third, second, fourth, second. God loves a trier, doesn't he?
I know, it's quite sad reading about that, isn't it? But I'd say that there's been very good athletes every time I've come here, but yeah, it's tough because it's a lot of the time the first indoor race. I've had one, but then it's a lot of people's first indoor race, so it's not an excuse. But yeah, it'd be nice to, on my 7th attempt, try and get a win. That's been across different venues as well. That's been in Reggie Lewis, in Staten Island, and in this arena here. So yeah, I'll give it a go to try and erase that record.
And this is a fast track. I mean, you've raced here once or twice now. It's quick, isn't it? Not as quick as BU, perhaps, but quick.
I can't compare, but I think I missed the very first time it was at this track, and I saw how quick the races went, and I got to experience it last year. And compared to some of the tracks we have in the UK, it's amazing. Like, it carries you so much better around the bends and just feels like very, very smooth to run on. So it's always nice to come here and race.
And off the back of this, Grant has said that he'll head towards the distance option at the Grand Slam Athletics, 5,000s and 10,000s championships. You've got a 1,000 metre record attempt at the Keeley Classic lined up after this.
Yeah, it's exciting because I feel like that's the event where if I could choose a distance, that would be probably the one. If I could make an Olympic event, it would be the one I'd probably go for. But yeah, it's a different season. Normally I kind of use this indoor season to go for 3Ks and use a little bit of the season as like aerobic base, whereas because I haven't been to a champs for so long and the indoor season kind of falls at a nice time with a late outdoors. So it's a chance to hopefully try and run a standard tomorrow and then be able to go to champs and then be able to hopefully go to the big champs after. So a K fits nicely in getting ready for trials for me.
Well, speaking of somebody that likes a kilometre, the new American record holder, Josh, if you're only as good as your last race, you're in pretty good form at the moment.
Thank you.
What are you hoping for tomorrow? What would constitute success for you at your new level?
Yeah, this is going to be the first fast 1,500 that I've really ever run. So I'm looking forward to kind of going out in the hot pace and kind of echoing what Grant said, competing for the win. So if I'm anywhere close with 100 meters to go, that'll be a success. But of course, I'd like to cross the line first. So.
And it's a relatively rare thing for an athlete to be pace made by his brother at record attempts. The Ingebrigtsens have done it in the past. We think you can go back years. Jorge Torres is another. But you were pace made by your brother for the 1,000 metre record. He's pacemaking tomorrow. It's a novelty for everybody else. You must be quite used to that sort of scenario.
Yeah, I mean, we train a lot together in practice. We kind of coordinate who leads reps between my older brother and younger brother. And just going back to that K race a couple of weeks ago, I said to Jonah, I'm like, hey, if you get me to 600 meters, I'll get the record. So didn't have quite the same conversation this time, but it's like I just feel like running behind Jonah just gives me hope, because like as brothers, we've kind of been through a lot together these past like 6 years, kind of overcoming adversity. So I just feel like this is representative of all the overcoming and hard work we've put in. So I'm excited.
And what are your plans? Full indoor season? World indoors?
Yeah, if that's possible, I would love to run world indoors. So yeah.
And which direction would you go? 800 meters or 1500?
I'm definitely still deciding. So
Tomorrow will have a big bearing on that.
I think so, yeah.
So the rest of my indoor season will go like this. So I have a 1500 tomorrow. About a week later, I'll have a 3K at Milrose. And then about a week after that, I'll have a 5K at BU. And that'll most likely be the end of my indoor season. So I'll go 3 back-to-back weekends, kind of short and sweet, and then a little downtime, get ready for Grand Slam. The thought process behind going 1500 before 3K this year, I mean, really to just switch things up, try something new, it's either have a really hard race this weekend or have a really hard workout, and I'd rather race. So it's of course not my specialty, this event, but I still think I'm pretty good at it, and it's fun to get in competitive fields. And usually the shorter you dip into middle distance, the more tactics play in, and that's something where I've struggled over the years in, and a little bit of practice is always good. And being in a race environment is also a good thing. So yeah, it turned out to it looked like it was going to shape up to be a really good field and a really good race. And I'd like to knock my 1500 PB down, and I want to race some of the best guys in the world right now. So it'll be fun.
So I had to do something different, because 1 year, especially off the back of the year I had before, was probably excusable for it being, okay, this is 1 year where I haven't got to the champs and haven't been able to perform. And then having it a second time, and the one that was even more important, I couldn't just repeat the same cycle again. I had to do something different. So I've been trying to say to people how big a deal it probably is within the UK, but how small in the US. I moved from London to Manchester, which is a 4-hour drive, which for UK is massive. So that feels like I've literally moved a long way away, whereas you guys probably do that to school almost, I think. But yeah, it's mainly to prioritize different things. A lot of it is I know what I have to do to get to the point I need to, so to be at my best, and I don't want to change that. So I need to make sure that I need to be able to tolerate it, which is what I haven't been able to do. So I've moved closer to therapy. I've been fortunate to have some of the best therapists in the country over the years, and all of them have left London to go to Manchester. So it seems the right time for me to do that and move there also. Britain had 1 gold medal on the track in the summer in Paris, and that came from Keighley in Manchester. So it's obviously a great training environment, and just more than anything, it's kind of nice to have a refreshed mindset by moving away and kind of starting again. I feel like if I'm going to try and go for a whole cycle, which contrary to probably what I said then in that AW interview, a big injury is defined as different things. I think for me it would be a big injury at the wrong time again would be the things that I was show to take with. I mean, injuries are part of the sport, but for me to get injured this time, it was like the week or 2 weeks before trials for the Olympics, then actually a week before the Olympic Games. Like, they are the 2 worst times to get injured within a year, and they're the ones that I can't really see myself being able to withstand anymore, because you get so ready to race, and then to have it ripped away at last minute was really tough. But if I'm going to get problems, which I always will, as long as they're nowhere near as big the problems as I've had, and they're much more manageable, which is what I'm trying to do, that's a big success. And I hope the outcome of that will be I can get back to my best and show that when I race.